Plant, revitalize, build. Those three words describe the ministry of Continental Baptist Missions. Thank you for watching Destination Missions, the YouTube channel for Continental Baptist Missions. My name is Brad Hoff. I'm the Director of Church Planting Ministries for CBM, and with me in the studio is
Dallas Putnam, and I'm the Director of Building Ministries with Continental Baptist Missions.
In our previous video, we talked about the role or the ministry of the CBM Building Ministry and how that assists church planting. The second of the three words that describe CBM, revitalize. Plant, revitalize, build. Revitalization is a long word, and sometimes when we use that word in connection with church ministry, that might cause some confusion that people would have. So, Dallas, help us understand the word revitalize as it applies to the ministry of CBM.
Well, revitalizing is coming alongside of a church that often they're down to just a few people, but there's a good core group there yet, and to come alongside and help them to revitalize the ministry of that church and revitalize reaching out into the community, revitalize discipleship, revitalize in moving forward as a church.
For example, there was a church that contacted us about 6 years ago, a church that had been started in the 1880s. It's in a very rural location, but over the course of its history, it had had a very good ministry. When they contacted us and asked for the help of Continental Baptist Missions, they were down to just a handful of people. The day that I visited them, I think there were 9 of us in attendance at that worship service. It was a church that was at the point of deciding whether or not they would close their doors and simply go out of existence in that community. Now, in the providence of God, in that case, there was a missionary couple with CBM who were in between ministries. They'd finished up one ministry looking for the Lord's leading to the next place of ministry, and God led them to work with this church. And they, by the grace of God, saw that church, saw it grow, not only numerically, but saw it grow in its impact in its local community. New life come within that church family in a way that was noticed, in a way that was respected by the community around them. They didn't need a new building to be built, Dallas, but you probably know the church that I'm talking about, yes. And maybe you could comment on just a couple of ways in which the CBM building ministry helped the revitalization ministry.
Often when a church gets to the point where they need to be revitalized, the fact that they don't have the numbers of people, the building itself, the tool begins to deteriorate some, and so the building ministry comes alongside and assists them in doing some remodeling, doing some updating to that existing building, and revitalizing the tool so that they have a good tool to use as they revitalize the ministry.
In not every revitalization ministry do we see the need for the builders to come alongside and help them. Some, the facilities they have are still in serviceable condition, and so that isn't always necessary, but sometimes it is, and we're very thankful to have those aspects of the work of Continental Baptist Missions and the missionaries that serve with us. So that's a little bit about the revitalization ministry. That's been a part of the ministry of CBM really from the very beginning of what is today Continental Baptist Missions. And then over the almost 80 years of our existence now, probably about a quarter to a third of the mission churches that have been a part of what is today Continental Baptist Missions have been church revitalization ministry. So it's not something new for us. It's something that we think we're seeing an increased need for in this day, but it's always been a part of the ministry of Continental Baptist Missions. It continues to be today. So again, plant, revitalize, build. Those are the three words that describe the ministry of Continental Baptist Missions. And today we've talked a little bit about the second of those three words, revitalize. Tune in again to our next video, and we'll focus a little bit more on the work of church planting. What does that mean? What does that look like? But before we go, we want to encourage you again today to do a couple of things. And Dallas, what are those things we want our viewers to do?
If you've enjoyed this video, please click the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and share this video so that other people will be able to get a vision for the ministry of CBM. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Again, please hit that subscribe button. It's very valuable to us.